The Galactic Linguistic Preservation Council had spent 3 centuries trying to decode the Vashtar script. The ancient civilization had vanished 12,000 years ago, leaving behind only ruins and untranslatable texts that predated most known spacefaring species. Their language remained academia's greatest mystery, a dead tongue with no surviving speakers, no Rosetta Stone, no hope of comprehension. Professor Velshera, the council's leading xenolinguist, presented her latest findings to the assembled scholars. Her 4 manipulator arms gestured frantically at holographic displays showing complex algorithmic breakdowns that had, once again, yielded nothing. "We must accept the inevitable," she concluded, her crystalline voice heavy with defeat. "Vashtar will remain forever silent. No living being in this galaxy remembers their speech." Actually, a voice interrupted from the back of the auditorium, "That's not entirely accurate." Every head, tentacle, and sensory organ turned toward the speaker. A human sat slouched in the rear seats, wearing a faded jacket and nursing what appeared to be an earth beverage. He looked utterly unremarkable, brown hair graying at the temples, tired eyes, perhaps middle-aged by human standards. "Excuse me?" Velshera's translator Chip struggled with the indignation in her tone. "And you are?" "Marcus Webb." He stood slowly, taking a long sip from his bottle. "And before anyone wastes more time with algorithms, you've got the pronunciation completely wrong. Vashtar isn't a tonal language, it's temporal." The auditorium erupted in scholarly outrage. A Krellian linguist's vocal sacs inflated with fury. "Impossible. Temporal languages are theoretical at best. And even if they existed, how would a human possibly?" "Because I was there," Marcus said simply, descending the stairs toward the main stage. "Well, technically I will be there. Time travel gets confusing with verb tenses." He reached the podium and tapped the holographic display, manipulating it with surprising familiarity. The ancient Vashtar text rearranged itself under his fingers. "See this glyph? You've been reading it as warrior, but it's actually warrior who has not yet fought. And this one isn't water, it's water that was rain." Every noun carries temporal context. Past, present, future, and about 6 other time states that human languages don't have words for. Velshera's exoskeleton went rigid. "This is absurd. Even if temporal languages existed, you'd need to have lived among native speakers to." 43 years, Marcus interrupted, his voice suddenly distant. "I spent 43 years with the Vashtar before they were wiped out. Before the cataclysm that no one remembers happened because it hasn't happened yet. Time travel paradoxes are a bitch." He turned to face the stunned assembly, and for the first time, they noticed something strange about his eyes. They seemed to focus on multiple points simultaneously, as if seeing through layers of time itself. "In 2089, Earth will develop functional temporal displacement. I was part of the first anthropological mission. We chose the Vashtar because they were already gone, we thought we couldn't change anything." His laugh was bitter. "We were wrong. We couldn't save them, but I learned their language. Became fluent. Watched their civilization burn." He began speaking then, and the sounds that emerged were unlike anything the translators could process. Words that seemed to exist in multiple moments simultaneously, consonants that referenced futures that might have been, vowels that carried the weight of lost possibilities. The ancient text on the display began translating itself, responding to his voice like a lock recognizing its key. "It's a warning," Marcus said quietly, reading the words he'd helped write millennia ago. "The Vashtar discovered something in their experiments with time. Something that's still coming. Something that ends civilizations." He pulled out a worn notebook, its pages filled with handwritten annotations in 2 languages, English and the impossible temporal script of a people 12,000 years dead. "So no, Professor, the language isn't dead. I'm its last speaker, and I've been waiting centuries, subjectively speaking, to make sure someone finally learned what the Vashtar died trying to say." Marcus set down his beer and began to teach, translating a warning from the past to save the future, the last voice of a civilization that time forgot but one human refused to abandon. The council would learn that some languages never truly die, not while even one speaker remembers the words.